Let me ask you something uncomfortable. Have you ever been called too quiet, too serious, too much in your head? Have you ever felt like you process the world differently from the people around you, but could never quite explain how or why? Here's what psychology has discovered. Some of the clearest signs of a highly intelligent mind look nothing like what most people expect intelligence to look like. They do not look like confidence. They do not look like having all the answers. They look quiet, unusual, sometimes even difficult to understand. And the 5 signs we are about to cover, you may have spent years thinking were weaknesses. Stay with me, because by the end of this, one question is going to stay with you, and I want you to hold it until we get there. The question is this: what if the thing about you that people have called too much is actually the thing that makes you see more clearly than most? Sign 1. You genuinely enjoy being alone, not because you dislike people, not because something is wrong with you socially, but because your mind does something specific when the noise stops, when there are no conversations competing for your attention, no notifications pulling you back to the surface, no other people's opinions filling the room. Your mind finally has space to do what it does naturally. It wanders, it connects, it reaches across ideas that have no obvious relationship and finds the thread between them. Neuroscience describes this as the default mode network, the brain system that activates during rest and solitude. And research shows that highly intelligent individuals show significantly stronger activity in this network. Their brains are not resting when they are alone. They are working in a different gear. The quietest person in the room is often running the most complex internal process in it. Sign 2. You question your own opinions. This one feels backwards, but psychology has documented it consistently. The more a person actually understands about a subject, the less certain they tend to feel about it, because genuine understanding reveals complexity, and complexity makes certainty harder to maintain. Psychologists call this cognitive flexibility, the ability to hold a belief while simultaneously examining the evidence against it. And it is one of the strongest predictors of sophisticated reasoning ever documented. Someone with limited knowledge can feel completely certain. Their map of the subject is small enough to feel complete, but someone whose map has grown large enough to show how much territory is still uncharted, they hesitate, not from weakness, from accuracy. If you regularly wonder whether you might be wrong, you are not insecure. Your brain is doing something most brains avoid entirely. Sign 3. You notice patterns other people completely miss. A tone that shifted slightly. A pause that lasted a fraction too long. A behavior that is subtly different from last week without any obvious reason. Nobody else noticed. You did. Psychology describes this as pattern recognition. The brain's ability to compare incoming information against everything it has already stored and detect when something does not match. And research shows that highly perceptive individuals do this faster and at a deeper level than most. Your brain is not making lucky guesses. It is running a constant comparison between what is happening now and what it has seen before. And when something does not fit, even if you cannot explain why, the signal fires. The thing you call a gut feeling is often pattern recognition, too fast for language to keep up with. Sign 4. You become obsessed with random things. You started with one question, then another appeared, then another. And suddenly it is 2 a.m. and you are deep in a subject nobody asked you about, that has nothing to do with anything practical, that you simply cannot stop reading about. This is not distraction. This is what psychologists call intrinsic motivation. Learning driven by genuine internal curiosity rather than external reward. And research consistently shows it is one of the most powerful engines for deep knowledge acquisition ever identified. You are not learning to appear smart. You are learning because not knowing bothers you in a way that knowing relieves. That distinction is everything, because intrinsically motivated learners do not just collect answers. They keep creating better questions. And the question you cannot stop thinking about is often more important than any answer you already have. Sign 5. You overanalyze conversations after they are over. 3 hours after a completely ordinary exchange, you are still there, replaying the exact words, the tone, the pause, the moment their expression shifted before they caught themselves. Psychology describes this as social information processing depth, the degree to which a person processes interpersonal data after the fact. And highly observant people do this automatically because their brain captured more data during the interaction than most people do. They noticed what was said and how it was said, the timing, the inconsistencies, what was not said. This same capacity that makes you understand people with unusual depth is the same one that makes it difficult to simply let a conversation go. The ability and the cost come from exactly the same place. Now, here's the question I asked you to hold. What if the thing about you that people have called too much, too quiet, too serious, too in your head, is actually the thing that makes you see more clearly than most? Not a flaw to fix, a way of processing that most people never develop. Tell me in the comments, which of these 5 felt the most familiar? Just the number. And if you want more psychology that helps you understand the way your mind actually works, what should we do? Subscribe to Psychology Unpacked. Understanding yourself starts here.